Let me show you my new picking pole. Here it is. Beautiful picking pole, lightweight, big old mesh net to hold the avocados, 2 razor blades to cut the stem right off the tree. This is such an improvement over my old picking pole. I was out the other day picking with a buddy of mine. I was using this, he was using one of these. He says, Tom, can I ask you a question? I said, what's that? He goes, why are you using that pole? You know, he meant this pole. Why don't you have one of these? I said, I don't know. This is just what I've always used. And he went on to give me about 10 different reasons why this pole is superior to this one. He pole shamed me. And he was right. This is a utility pole. This is something a construction worker would use, or someone who's painting a really high wall. It weighs a ton. Whereas this, on the other hand, is designed for picking avocados. Well, it's designed for picking fruit, right? Mangoes, oranges. You could probably up north pick apples or pears or peaches with it. I wouldn't try to pick a watermelon with it. But it's designed specifically for the task, which is working in a grove picking fruit all day. One of these is great if you're a backyard grower and you're just going to go out and pick a handful of fruit every day. You got 5 or 6 mangoes you want to get, or 2 or 3 avocados every day. But one of the big flaws for someone like me who's going to be working all day in a grove is, number one, look, you can only fit 1 fruit in this basket at a time. And this isn't even mature yet. This one still has about 50% more growth. This is going to be a pound heavier in a month. So with this basket, I got to go up into the tree, pick, and dump into the bin. This mesh bag, on the other hand, can hold 5 or 6 fruit, or even more at a time, right? So I get up in the tree, I can just go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then dump into the bin. And speaking of dumping into the bin, we only use these picking poles when we have a small amount of fruit to pick, like 100 or 150. If we're gonna be filling bins like this all day, we use a cherry picker. If I was picking by hand with a pole, it'd probably take me an hour, hour and a half to fill one of these up. You could do it in 15 minutes or 10 minutes even with a cherry picker. Another major improvement this has over this is the way it removes the fruit from the tree. This has 2 razor blades right here that actually snip the stem. This one, on the other hand, has this claw, right? So when you're trying to pull a fruit down off a tree, you got to kind of get the claw around the stem and give it a good pull. And a lot of times what happens is, over time, these fingers start to bend back, right? Instead of freeing the fruit from the tree, you actually drag these claws down the skin of the fruit, and it puts marks in your fruit, and then you can't sell it. Whereas with this one, all I got to do is find a piece of fruit that I like, give it a little pull, and I got my fruit. And then once we fill up the bag, we come over here to the bin and just drop them in. Why am I picking with a pole today? Why am I not using a cherry picker? The answer is simple. I only need about 100, 120 avocados. I'm only going to fill this bin up to about here. I'm filling the last of my early season avocado orders. See, what a lot of people don't know is there's over 900 varieties of avocado. And I grow about 15 here on this farm. And I grow early season, some mid-season, and a lot of late season avocados. So just to give you an idea, these are the fruit we grow here at Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm. Here is a Hass avocado that I bought at the supermarket. This is the one you're used to. I didn't grow this, but missing would be the Donnie variety, because I'm all sold out of those. That would be first. Then next is Simmons. It's like a kind of a fat pear shaped, and a lot of times it has these little yellow spots on it because the Simmons trees are a little sparse when it comes to leaves, and the sun sort of fades the color on them. So we go Donnie, then Simmons. Then for about 10 days in August, we have this Russell variety. Now, most of my Russells are a lot more nicer looking than this one, but I'm all sold out of Russell. This I just took out of my fridge because I will be eating that one. That's like a very long, sort of gourd-shaped variety. And then once we're done with the Russells, it's time to move into our summer varieties like this Catalina or this Black Prince. So you see the Catalina has sort of an asymmetrical pear shape to it. It's a favorite amongst Cubans. It was brought over here from Cuba. And then this here is called a Black Prince. It's noteworthy for it's got these like raised sort of bumps on it, these like sort of vein looking structures in the skin. And the Black Prince, also a summer variety like the Catalina. The Black Prince is known for being very oily. And for a lot of people, that's a plus. For other people, that's a minus. You know, taste is subjective, but a lot of people love these Black Princes because they're pretty high in oil content, where some of the other green varieties aren't as high. That's the summer varieties. And then we have to take a break, and then we come back toward the end of September, and we start selling these choquettes. Now, this choquette here isn't even close to ripe yet. It's still about 6 weeks away, and it'll be 50 to 75% bigger than what I'm holding in my hand right here. Once we're done with the choquettes, we move into these beautiful pear-shaped hull, and these hulls are absolutely delicious. And then once we're done with the hull, we go into the Monroes, which again is a very, very tasty avocado. It's our latest season avocado. We start picking these around Halloween, and if I want, I could make them last all the way to February. But every year you guys buy more and more, and I'm usually sold out before we even get to New Year. So again, here's a quick look at the variety of avocados we grow here at Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm. So on a day like today, early August, when the supply of my early and summer variety starts to dwindle, I have to stop taking orders on the website. And to be on the safe side, I always shut it down when I know I have well more than enough fruit to fill the orders. And that's why today I'm picking by hand. Normally we pick binfuls. Today I'm only going to pick, like I say, about 120, go in and finish my last orders. So what I like to do toward the end of the early season, when my Donnies and Simmons have run out, I start to blend in the summer varieties, the Black Prince and the Catalina. So today I'll fill a bunch of orders with Simmons, Black Prince, and Catalina. And I gotta wait a couple of weeks. I gotta wait until it's time to start picking the choquettes. When these things are ready to go, it'll be bigger and fatter than this Simmons. These are one of my biggest varieties. And when I start with the choquettes, I will also augment with the Catalina and Black Prince. Why? Because there's more to it than just the time of year. Turns out size matters. This is a Catalina on August 8th. This is also a Catalina on August 8th. This one's ready to go. I can pick this. I can ship this. Someone could let this sit on their counter, ripen it, and it's going to taste delicious. This one isn't ready yet. Still has to size up. So what I've found I could do is blend the earliest of the summer varieties with the later of my spring varieties. And then when I segue into the fall, this guy will be as big as his big brother here, and I can blend it with the choquettes. And that way my customers get a blend. They get a mix of avocados. Same thing with the Black Prince. Toward the end of my earlies, I'll throw in some Black Prince with the Simmons. And then toward the beginning of my fall varieties, I'll do a Black Prince with my choquettes. For me, there's almost no greater joy than coming out here and picking the fruit I grew for you guys. Yesterday, I was walking the property. I went through my garden, and this ripe pineapple caught my eye. And I was just so happy. I was like, oh my God, a pineapple, you know? And I ran over and picked it and ran into the house, you know, and I said to my wife, look at this. She's like, oh my God, a pineapple, you know? Normally we kind of have our eye on them and we know as they're ripening, but this guy kind of snuck up on us. And I got such a good feeling picking that pineapple. But with the avocados, there's much more to it than that, because look at these. I mean, look at all these avocados. I've been watching these things since January. They came out as little flowers. And then in February, March, these little teeny tiny buds of fruit start to grow. And then the fruit starts to pop. And then right about now, the rainy season comes and it really starts to grow on the tree. And look at all these beautiful Hall variety avocados. And the way I do my picking is on Monday, I sit down at the computer and I print out all the shipping labels. And every year I see more and more familiar names. I see more and more repeat customers. You know, I start to type out the first three letters of the name and it just auto-fills. And I get such a warm feeling inside, because to me, you can do customer satisfaction surveys and all kinds of crap like that. But to me, a repeat customer is the best indication of customer satisfaction. And when I see those names month after month and year after year, I know I must be doing something right for you guys. So I print out all my labels and then I sort them according to what people order. Sometimes they order 2 boxes, sometimes they might order fruit plus a shirt, something like that, you know, and I sort them and then I count up how many I need. And then if I feel like it, I'll come out and pick. Sometimes I'll send my son, or if we need to do a huge order, I'll have one of my employees come over with a cherry picker and start filling bins. But when I'm out here picking these fruit and I'm thinking to myself of the names, oh, maybe this one will wind up in Javier's box, and Maybe this one will wind up in Nana's box. And oh, I got Tom. I'm trying not to say your last names, but Tom, you probably know who you are because you order from me like a couple times a month. I got this going out to Tom, you know, and I just think to myself, like, that box is going to arrive at your doorstep. You're going to open it up. You're going to follow my little instructions about how to ripen them and how to taper the ripening so they don't all ripen at once. And then I sit back and wait for the feedback. I love to read your comments first thing in the morning when I wake up. You know what people in other time zones have been saying all night as they've been watching my vids. One of my favorite comments to get is, oh my God, it's 3 a.m. I can't stand avocados. I'm never going to grow an avocado tree in all my life, but I can't stop watching this video. Thank you, you know. And I'll read your comments before bed, which I won't even look at my email or my text before bed because I'm more likely to get riled up. I'm more likely to have something negative come to me than positive. But before I go to bed, I do the same thing. I check my YouTube comments, and it's all stuff that you guys have to say to me, which is very, very positive. And I love that. So when I'm out here picking, I feel like I'm with you guys. You know, I'm just, you know, I'm thinking about a comment I replied to, or I'm anticipating what someone's going to tell me later because I put something in a video. Maybe I know it's going to catch their attention, you know? And I'm just out here thinking of all my new friends that I've met over the last 2-3 years since I've been making these vids, and I just love it. And it's not just the feedback about the fruit you've bought or a new variety of avocado you tasted or maybe a new variety of mango that I introduced you to. One of my favorite comments, one of the best forms of feedback I get from y'all is someone who says, you know, I watched your video on XYZ topic and it inspired me to plant a tree. And I'm 2 years into it and my tree's 4 feet high and I'm so excited and here's what I'm doing to take care of it. It's like people are taking care of a pet, and it puts passion. It puts passion in people's lives. And on top of that, I think it's really important for us to grow our own food. You know, you see I got all these avocados here growing. I showed you picked this pineapple the other day. I got bananas all over the place, different kinds of bananas that my wife and I eat. And the more I can encourage y'all to do that, the better it is for you, the better it is for your family. Even for those hippies that can't stand farmers, they're probably happy about it too because you're adding green, right? You're taking carbon dioxide out of the air. These leaves, they take carbon dioxide out of the air and they convert it to oxygen, right? If you can go out in your backyard and pick a piece of fruit and eat it, you don't have to get in your car and drive to the 7-Eleven and buy a snack, right? Your carbon footprint is lower. And that's why I contend that avocados make the world a better place. People get a lot of joy out of planting them, growing the trees. This may wind up on someone's doorstep who's a Cuban immigrant to this country and who maybe grew up in Miami, but they've since moved to Denver or LA or New York City and they can't get the avocado they grew up on, right? They used to eat this in Cuba, and then when they came to Miami, they ate it throughout their teens and 20s, but now they're an adult with their own family. They can't get their hands on any Catalinas. Then they see these and they order them from me, and it reminds them of being a kid. Now, I'm telling you all this as an avocado farmer, right? But I think no matter what your job is, you could challenge yourself to find that joy, right? If you're a nurse, it's kind of easy, right? You're saving lives. If you're a school teacher, you're teaching the next generation, right? If you're a construction worker, you should be proud that you're giving people a building they can live in or they could work in. Until recently, I think if you were a truck driver, you were extremely undervalued in society. But now people know just how important you are, right? Because we just experienced supply chain interruptions and we just had a hard time getting medicines, right? Baby formula, toilet paper. If you're a truck driver, be proud of yourself that you're bringing that stuff to the masses. So when I tell you I'm excited because I got a new pick and pull, I mean it. Because this new pick and pull makes me better at picking avocados, which makes me better at being an avocado farmer, which makes me better at spreading the joy that avocados bring to people all over the world. And if you want to bring that joy to your doorstep, go to guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. That's where we sell our fruit. I start selling in June and I'll sell straight through to February as long as we don't run out. Y'all ordered so much fruit this year, that I ran out. I got to take a 3-week pause, but I'm going to start selling fruit again in mid-September. But if you don't want to wait for then and you want something from guacfarm.com, get yourself one of these awesome Sleepy Lizard t-shirts or one of these Sleepy Lizard stickers. Now, I've been picking as I'm talking here. I got about 20, 30 fruit in the bin, but I got about another 100 to pick. So while I go pick those avocados, you go to guacfarm.com, and I will see you on the next video.